What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw for TV. All right, so shout out to the sister Denise, one of my subscribers on YouTube and one of my patrons, for informing me of this breaking news. Now, Election Day was now, can you believe it, 6 days ago. Of course, for President Donald Trump, who was seen as a bit of a slight underdog, at least according to the media, won a decisive victory over Democratic challenger and Vice President Kamala Harris on Election Day, securing 312 Electoral College votes to Kamala Harris's, force of habit, Kamala Harris's 226. The popular vote, as I anticipated, as more votes funneled in from California, I anticipated that her portion of the popular vote would go up a bit. It's right now, last time I checked, Trump is at 50.4% of the vote, Kamala at 48%. So that's about, 1.6% going to minor party candidates. I suspect that as more and more California votes are being counted, I suspect Trump is going to fall down to about a little bit over 50%. But still, if he secures a majority popular vote, he'd be the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years and the first Republican to get a majority of popular vote in 20 years. So he just ended the prevailing wisdom that Republicans can't win the popular vote anymore. I thought that would be the case too. But anyway, enough of that. The United States House race is still up in the air it was up in the air until just now. The Republicans just won their 218th congressional race, which puts them in a slim majority. Remember, there's 435 representatives. 218 is the number it takes to win a majority of the House. They've achieved that. There are still 8 outstanding races that have not been determined. But whatever the case may be, the Republicans will have, yet again, a slim majority in the House of Representatives. The United States Senate, however, is another story. I think coming into this election, I think they had something around 50, what was it, a 50-50 split with Kamala Harris giving them a slim majority of Democrats. I think that's what it was. Something around that, I believe it was. So I believe the Senate now is 53-47 or 53-46, something around that range. So the Republicans have an outright majority in the United States Senate. So that's a majority in the United States Senate, a majority in the United States House. They control the executive branch with Donald Trump in place. And when you look at the Supreme Court, they have a 6-3 majority. For many years, it was a 5-4 majority, but that changed during Donald Trump's first term, where we saw him, I think, appoint, 3 Supreme Court justices? So that gives him a 6-3 majority. So you have a very powerful President Trump going into his second term, and he has the numbers now to fulfill his agenda. And, basically, from what I'm seeing, they're going to try to slash spending, shrink the size of government, redistribute power from the federal government to the states. Now, I know people talk about this Project 225 stuff. I'm of the opinion that it's all bullshit. I think this is fear mongering. And at the end of the day, that's just how I feel about that. Um, I mean, the if he, I just look. I'm just getting tired of this. And if it sounds like I'm like a Republican or something, it's not that. It's just I'm tired of the bullshit fear mongering tactics from the media. I remember when I was growing up, and Ronald Reagan was supposed to be the devil incarnate. People compared him with Adolf Schicklgruber. When I was growing up, Richard Nixon was still alive, even though he was out of power. I remember reading how he was supposed to be the American version of Adolf Schicklgruber. Then George H.W. Bush was supposed to be Adolf Schicklgruber. His son was Adolf Schicklgruber. I, I'm not saying his real name. I'm saying what his family surname was before they changed it. So I don't want to say his name on YouTube. Then they said that Trump was going to be Adolf Schicklgruber in his first term. That didn't happen. Was his agenda very conservative? Sure. Um, you know what I'm saying? Was a lot of things that he was for or that his party represent that I can't stand? Absolutely. Right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in my life, honestly, who is president. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, if you want me to really, really be serious, this is how inconsequential it really is as for who's president and how I'm doing in my personal life. I dictate that, right? At the end of the day, I don't de- I don't depend on anything with the government. I don't. Um, but it's just interesting to me personally, right? I tended to do better when there was a Republican in the White House. Now, I'm not saying that that's the rule, but if you're going by how I like, if the argument is people vote their self interest, which they do, generally speaking, I did better when there was Republicans in the White House. Now, I'm not saying that there's a direct correlation there. It just could be coincidental. But I'm just saying I tended to do better personally when there was a Republican in the White House. When it was Reagan, uh, when there was Bush. Now Clinton was the exception. Clinton was the exception. I wasn't working then. I was a kid, a teenager, but my family did do a little bit better when Clinton. No, no, no. What? You know what? I take that back. I take that back. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We actually did a little bit worse. We did a little bit worse. I personally did okay when Bush was president. I did horrible when Barack Obama was president. And then I did better when Trump was president. Like I said, it's just probably coincidental. Most people probably say that's the opposite for them. But I just say all that just to basically reiterate my point. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. I just despise the Democratic Party because I despise them because of the fact that they profess to be the better option when in reality they're the same as the GOP. And then they try to act like they are the holier than thou party, but in reality they're just as fucked up as the Republicans. So, that's just how I feel. And I'm already seeing people now all of a sudden code switching and are you going to say something about these emails? About these racist emails that are being sent out? Are you going to say anything about how he's going to give police officers immunity? I mean, don't police officers already have unqualified immunity? What about all of the videos that I've done or the times that people have talked about police officers unaliving black citizens, right? I did on my Patreon talking about, all these dudes being found unalived, hanging over the last few years, right? Why is it whenever it's a Democrat White House, certain people seem to ignore that? Now all of a sudden that Trump has gotten elected, now people want to get on cold now because it fits your agenda. Now all of a sudden you want me to talk about these things. When for 4 years, when I was talking about these things, you didn't want to hear it. Why? Because you want to magically, you know what I'm saying, act like these things weren't happening when Biden was president. Because you want to act like, oh, race relations have gotten better. Nope, actually, there was an uptick in these types of senseless crimes. So, if I'm an agent of chaos, so be it. Meaning that I'm going to bang on whoever's in the White House, you know? And I'm going to do a video tomorrow about Trump's idiotic idea of putting that imbecile, Herschel Walker, in charge of missile defense. What the fuck are you thinking, Trump? You'll put this idiot there? Maybe you will be a goddamn disaster. Why would you put that moron in that position? But anyway, that's all I got to say about it.